Welcome back to my channel. It's me again, and today I brought three clients who were nail biters before, and I'm gonna do their nails and I'm gonna walk through the whole process what I'm doing, and you're gonna get to know them a little bit and their nail biter story. Let me go and get changed and we can start quickly. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video. So the first client is Bethany, and she was a nail biter before, and her nails before the first treatment were really, really, really tiny. As you can see it on the video, that was the before and the first appointment, like what she had for the very first time. And you can see that ever since her nails grown so fast. Her story is a little funny because the way she found me. So basically, she is nearly my next door neighbor, and she never knew about me. And one night, it was the 30th of December, she ordered food in the middle of the night because she was really, really hungry. And the food didn't arrive, and she went on the mop to see where the driver is. And when she looked at the mop, she find out, because I'm on Google Maps, my business is on Google Maps, that and there's a nail technician next door. And she sent me a message literally 2 o'clock in the morning. And the next day, it was the 31st of December, so New Year's Eve, I woke up and I seen the message. I was like, oh my God, that's so weird. Anyway, and she booked a nail appointment. And on the nail appointment, it turned out that she was a nail biter because she didn't mention it in the messages. So, she went to another nail technician before, and she couldn't really reach any kind of good results. But here we are. She has been coming here for 3 years now, and you can see me doing her nails. Yeah, I do speed up the video because I don't want to bore you with every teeny tiny little step. um, Basically, if you want to do bitten nails as a nail technician, you need to do a really, really good preparation, because the bitten nails are a really small and soaked, because nail biters put their hands in their mouth, and the saliva would soak their nails. So if you want to do really, really good bitten nails and you want to help people to stop biting their nails, first of all, we have to do a very, very good preparation. And I do not mind to spend more time on the preparation, because that's going to give us the best possible end result. By the way, she has her own cleaning company, and she does clean basically 7 days a week. So she's a really, really nice client this way, because she's willing to put on gloves and she's careful with her nails. I can tell you, in 3 years, probably she had like two chip nails altogether. And I'm happy for that, because not all the clients are that good with their nails like she. Um, she's good. Let's say that. So I use acrygel, and you're gonna see me doing it in a minute. But once I go over with my cuticle drill bit and I cut the cuticles if I have to, I go over it with a file. Usually I use 180 grit. I do not like to use, okay, you can still use like 150 grit, but don't go lower than that because you can hurt the nail plate. So I do use acrygel. I did love acrylic, but once I tried this one first time in my life, like 7 years ago, I fell in love with it. You can see how easy to move this product around the nail, and it has a really good adhesion and it's really comfortable to wear. So I ditched acrylic for acrygel, and I'm not willing to use anything else. And what you've seen on the before and after photo, I mean, like that little video, you can, I know you cannot tell, but that was acrygel as well. So acrygel works really, really well on nail biters, believe it or not. If you're watching this as a nail client and you're a nail biter, you need to find a good nail technician in your area who is good enough with either acrylic or acrygel. Hard gel not necessarily will work on bitten nails, but acrygel does the job completely perfectly. The other big advantage is that this product won't burn the client's nails in the lump. And I'm happy for that, because I just didn't like to watch the screaming clients. So it does cure in the lump in 2 minutes, and it's a lot more easier to file than acrylic. And not to mention that less filing is less pain in the shoulders, if you know what I mean. Um, she likes a little bit of length, but not too long, because obviously once we file the nail into the shape and length, we have to think that she's going to come back in 3 weeks, and by the end of the third week her nails will be a lot longer, and we want to make sure that length is going to be still fine for her, and it's not going to give her pain or any kind of difficulties to live her life. So the shape we always do is basically a square with like a little bit of rounded corner, because um if you do like a really really sharp cornered square, it can really be annoying. Like if you ask me, I hate my nails like that, so I do exactly the same shape as her, but I love short nails. I do not like long nails because to me they are just really really annoying. Obviously I recorded only one hand, but obviously I did exactly the same on the other hand as well. And there's another thing what I don't know if you noticed from the very start, but this is her left hand, and her right hand is a lot bigger because when she was born, there was some difficulties there, and her left hand is smaller and the nails are smaller, and the her right hand is bigger and the nails are bigger. So obviously for her I cannot do exactly the same shape because I have to make sure that the portions will align with the other hand. The other thing she doesn't like is like crazy nail art and crazy colors, and she wanted something brownish, and that's the color she picked. And obviously, the color went on her skin. Why not? So we decided that three of her nails will be this darkish, brownish, chocolatey color, and I begged, but she let me to. Uh, like come up with like a little bit of different shade, and we're gonna do that other shade on the two middle fingers. And also I convinced her to do a little bit of glitter as well, because that's what I do. I convince people. The way I do it, I don't have the other shade, so I just mix it. So white plus the color we already used, and I just basically mix it with a brush, and that's how you're gonna have another color. And I mentioned this color mixing technique in my other videos because you can save so much money and you don't have to buy 75 different shades because you can just do it yourself. It's a little difficult to bring up the color because the brush will was completely filled with the whole the color. So I always brush the other side of the brush off to make sure I can apply it nicely. And also, I do multiple nails in one go because that's how I can save a little bit more time. And I just always make sure that the application is perfect and there are no lumps on the surface. And I also use flash curing because that is another thing what I can do to speed up the process. And I made up this sparkly top coat, and it really, really, really easy to do. Basically, you put some top coat on your little paper, and I put a little bit of chrome mirror powder in it, and that's it. Like you don't really have to overthink, you just have to experiment, and you're going to find out which one is going to work and which one is not, and here is the end result. So the next one is Christine. Basically, she found me the day before Bethany found me, so the previous girl, and she was like a really, really, really bad nail biter. In a second, you're gonna see why. She was ripping the skin and she was biting her nails off completely. Even her thumb had like this kind of ridges on. So we had like a really wonky base to start with, but she was really determined to stop biting her nails, and she attended all the nail appointments, and any kind of rule I told her what to do and what not to do with the nails, she was sticking to it really, really strict. And if I haven't mentioned yet, if somebody is a nail biter and they stop biting their nails and they decide to get nail treatment, uh, altogether it takes 6 months to get rid of the habit, because basically nail biting is a habit. And because people bite their nails because unconsciously they think they're they are getting something good out of it, we have to offer them something nicer than that. So basically, if you have a 10-year-old car and it's working basically completely perfectly, and if I offer you a bicycle, you be like, no, I'm not going to take the bicycle because the car is still better than the bicycle. But if I say, what if I take your car away and I offer you a brand new car, whichever you like, of course you're going to say yes because you get something better than what you had before. So basically, nail biters are shamed about the look of their hands. That's why they're hiding it all the time as much as they can. So basically, if I tell them like you're gonna get nice and cute and pretty nails, they be like, okay, this is what I want. I will give up my bad habit because I'm getting something better out of it. So basically, part of the psychology behind stopping the nail biting, this is it. Because if you know anyone who bites their nails, usually they try stick on nails, they won't last, or they try that awful flavored nail varnish that won't last either because they just learn the taste and they're just gonna bite through it anyway. So basically, they need a long lasting and better solution. And as you can see on Christine, I'm using exactly the same thing. It's acrygel. And basically, the way I do the nails, I always make sure that everything is intact from the previous set. And if there's any kind of lifting, which she really doesn't have because she's a good girl, um, I don't have to remove a lot from the previous. And I just always put on as much that would cover the little gap what I created with the filing, and I put the C curve back on its place, on the original place where it has to be, and that's how the nail will be more long lasting. The big difficulty with nail biters at the very, very start, that because their nails is bitten and it's shorter than a normal natural nail, their natural nail don't have a double C curve. And this is what we are doing with the product. Basically, we copy the double C curve. So that's why it is hard to work on nail biters as a nail technician, because they don't have the C curve. And time to time, I have to do a reverse C curve just to make sure it will last long, because the point is that we have to achieve that even if we work on bitten nails, it won't come off at all. From day one, for a nail biter, their nail is growing so much faster than a non-nail biter person's nail. So basically, at the very start, their nail appointment has to happen a little bit more often than normal. Otherwise, they wouldn't last long enough because their growth is insane. So basically, a nail biter's nail can grow twice as much as a normal person's nail. So that's why we have to know everything about the steps and the whole process. Otherwise, we can provide the treatment, but it will go wrong because we didn't pay attention on certain things. And this client likes her nail short with a teeny tiny bit of free edge and a rounded cornered square because that's the most comfortable to be with. Um, for this lady, I wouldn't really do like almond shape because her nails would look like chicken legs, and it wouldn't be like the best for her because her fingers would look more chunky. So, you know, we just have to pay attention to these kind of things. Even if somebody would ask me to do that, I would probably say no if it doesn't work on them. I'm just honest, and I'm always saying, like, better hate me than go home with something that you are absolutely hating. Christine likes to get different kind of nails, but this time she had to go to a posh wedding, she said, so we had to find something that works with that. Her dress was like a navy blue dress with some silver accessories. So I told her if we just do dark blue or too crazy silver, it would look too much with the blue and too Christmassy with the pure silver. So we decided to do nude and some silver sparkles, and that would compensate the dress and it would look lovely, but not too much. And also, she's gonna be able to live with it for the rest of the time when before she comes back again and getting her nails done. And also, she never had stones on before, but we decided to put on some crystals just to make it look more fancy. And now you can see me putting on the top coat. And now, in a few seconds, she's gonna be ready to go to her wedding and enjoy the posh people's conversation. I'm sure she's gonna have fun. And now here is the end result. Nothing too crazy, just something simple and nice. Our last client today is Maxim, and she has been coming for like 2.5 years, and she just wanted a one-time nail appointment because she wanted to get her nails done because she went on a holiday. And once she showed up with these nails looking like this on the top photo, that's what we had to start out with, and that was the only photo I could find of her nails from before and after. So that's why I had to share this photo because unfortunately I didn't take a video, but you could tell that she was biting her nails. She wasn't as bad as the rest of the girls, but she was working on her nails as well, like the other girls. So basically, she showed up as a one time nail appointment because she didn't think that anybody could deal with bitten nails. And I remember she told me she found me on Google and I had really good reviews. So that's why she decided to come to my place. And on the first appointment, she found out that I deal with bitten nails. So basically, we had a consultation because that's what I do with nail biters. I explain them everything on a first appointment and they can make their decision if they just really wanted to keep it as a one time thing or they want to go ahead and stop biting. And she decided to go ahead and stick to it. So she done really really well because at the start she basically had difficulties. She always wanted to do something with her nails and she was keep catching herself that she's chewing her nails. She didn't basically chew them off, but she just noticed that the habit is still there. So she had a stress ball and she made all the effort just to stop the habit, and look at her go. Because like you will see here that it's not going to be an acrygel set anymore. It's going to be a gel polish set. um, when she was at the very beginning, we were doing the extension kind of type, what you could see with the first two girls. But after a while, when she was completely okay with her nails and she didn't want to go back to nail biting ever again, I told her one time that there's an option that we can try gel polish on the natural nails because now the natural nails are strong enough to try this. And she was up for it, and I told her I can't promise you it's gonna last that long because maybe it's not for you, but we can give it a go and see how it plays out. And she was up for it, and basically her nails are completely perfect. As you can see, if you remember on the very first photo, she had like the short rounded square, but now you can see she has a different nail shape because two nail appointments ago, um previously she had a car accident and she hurt her hand, and she broke one of her nail actually. And we decided to match up the rest of her nails with that broken one, and now she has this kind of short rounded ovalish kind of shape. And now you can see me that I'm putting on the base layer of the gel polish. I only use hardener base because I'm not willing to use just the normal one. I don't even think that anybody would anybody would use this anymore. I always pay attention how I put on the layers, and you can see that I'm using a different brush to put the stuff on the nail. Then I use my other brush to spread the product. The reason is because that base coat is a really good base coat, but the brush is crap. I don't like to use that brush because that brush can pick up too much product and it is just the hardest thing ever to spread evenly on the nail. So what I'm doing is that I put on the product roughly and I get my other brush, which is my favorite brush, and I work it away on the whole surface. And that's how I can basically spread the product the way I want. I don't like the other brush. So it is just that's the way it works for me. I don't know if you guys do the same or you have a favorite brush, but that's the way I work it. At this point, it's still like end of September when I recorded this, and she went on a holiday to Spain, I think end of September or start of October.
We found this beautiful color which looks like a red, but in real life it's a deep pink with lighter pink shimmer on it. I'm not sure you can see it through the camera, but that's what it is. And we just didn't want to leave this like that. You can imagine that I had an idea, because I always have an idea, and I do not have trouble to talk people into glitter and sparkle, because I'm that kind of girl. Like, I believe that if you go to get your nails done, a little bit of glitter won't hurt. Am I right? Please tell me if I'm right, because I know I am. By the way, her mom started to come to my place too, because her mom was a nail biter as well. But she leaves to Spain for a few months and comes back for a few months. So that's what her life is like. But I'm going to see her mom soon. And I believe I will have a chance to record her nails. And once she's over there, she finds another nail technician. And when she comes back here, she comes back to me. And as I told you, that's how I mix mirror powder into the top coat. So basically, it will be still transparent, but still sparkly. And I decided to put on a little bit of flakes, because she wanted something summery and autumny as well. That's how it played out. And she likes a little bit like a simpler stuff. Sometimes she loves a little bit more crazy. She goes for a Grinch nail art in the Christmas time. So she is a fun girl to work with, and here is the end result. I really hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.